What up and welcome. I'm Marsh. This is the Golden Era here on YouTube. We are in episode 2, our first recap season. We're starting in 2019-2020. Everything up until March 11th, you're going to be familiar with. Rudy Gobert goes around, touches everybody's microphones. 2 days later, or however many days, he tests positive. The NBA times out, and everybody has the Mark Cuban reaction on the end line. I believe it was Mavs. I can't remember who they were against, but that was the game where everything stopped. Every other sports league followed suit and the world went on pause. Well, instead of shortening the season like the universe that you're familiar with, here in the Golden Era universe, the league said we want 82 games, and they got it. They started the bubble in June rather than July, and in exchange, the league and the players' union came together and agreed on a shifting of the first round of the playoffs to a best of 5, a change that would actually remain in place in the league until 2030. But let's check the standings in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks, they end up with the number 1 seed in the conference, 63 wins. They're number 2 in the league, only to the Lakers, who have 66. In the Eastern Conference, it's the Clippers coming in at number 2, setting up a possible battle for Los Angeles. However, it's going to be potentially, would be in the worst potential spot in the world, a bubble in Orlando. Meanwhile, the Warriors, who are trying to build themselves back up after losing in the NBA Finals a year ago, well, they get the worst record in the NBA. They were on their way to it prior to March 11th. That's where they end up. Meanwhile, the Rockets, the Thunder, they end up at 4-5, setting up a CP3 and James Harden first-round matchup. And the Grizzlies survive to be the number 8 seed. A bunch of teams end up with 37 wins. 4 of them, it's the Grizzlies who get it. Raptors, meanwhile, they get 55 wins. Let's head to the awards season. Montrezl Harrell, he's going to be your 6th man. Giannis, MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Bam gets Most Improved. Ja gets Rookie of the Year. Head to the postseason. First game, 5 rounds. Not a ton of changes, just one quote-unquote upset. That would be 5th seed of Philadelphia, led by Embiid and Simmons. They beat Jimmy Butler and the Heat. Top seeds each had to go to a deciding 5th game. Lakers beat the Grizzlies. Bucks beat the Magic in the opening round. Chris Paul gets his revenge in the first round. He leads OKC over the Thunder in 5 games. Fast forward to the conference final, and it is in fact a battle for Los Angeles in Orlando. Lakers, Clippers. However, once we get there, LeBron had been dealing with a hand injury that he had not been able to play, broken hand. He doesn't return until those conference finals. He returns when it's Game 3, series tied 1-1. Didn't matter. Lakers lose 3 in a row. Clippers advance. It's Kawhi and Toronto, the two team and player who made it to the NBA Finals the year before. Now they're going against each other for title number 2 for either of Kawhi Leonard will be 2 in a row for Kawhi. Once we get there, it's Clippers, it's Raptors, it's back and forth. Game 1 goes the way of the Clippers. Game 2, actually, Kawhi leaves 2 minutes into the game with a calf injury. Paul George, though, carries them from there. A back-and-forth series. In Game 7, Clippers are actually down late in this game. They go on a 15-0 run to take a late lead in that one. And then it's Kawhi and it's Paul George finish things off. Paul George scores 8 straight points on his way to earning Finals MVP, 2 threes, game-sealing dunk. And that's your 2019-2020 NBA season. We're back next for Episode 3, 2020 to 21.